Hello, and welcome to the Argyle HR Leadership Forum. My name is Nick with Argyle, and it's great to have everyone joining us today. A couple of notes before I turn things over to our esteemed speaker. First, a quick reminder to stop by our sponsors' virtual booths at any time during today's event and for the following week. Our partners are committed to providing you with valuable content and a great overall experience. At any time during today's event, you can visit their virtual booths from the main agenda page, which include complimentary materials, information, and meet and greet opportunities. To ask questions throughout the session, simply type into the Q&A chat, and we will address your questions at the end of the session. Now, without further delay, I would like to introduce our speaker, Matt Tague, Director, Customer Talent Advisory, GEM. We are excited to have Matt with us for a keynote presentation titled Unlock the Power of Your Data, Making Sense of ATS Data with GEM. Welcome, Matt. Over to you.
Awesome. Thanks, Nick. And good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everyone, wherever you may be. Great to meet you all. So as Nick mentioned, my name is Matt Tague. I lead the talent advisory team here at GEM, and super excited to talk about this topic today. So we'll be going over kind of three core areas in the 25 minutes that we have together. First piece, we're going to go over a little bit of research to set the stage about what's happening in the talent acquisition space. We'll also provide a bit of an overview of GEM for those who may be unfamiliar with our product. And then we'll be deep diving into some really cool cutting edge data-driven talent and analytics areas that I think will be of great interest to this group. So just a quick bit of background on myself. So I'm in the customer advisory team now here, as I mentioned. I've previously led teams at Lyft, Microsoft, and LinkedIn. I've been in the TA space for 15 plus years, and I'm incredibly passionate about the power of data within the TA organization and helping us to uplift and uplevel the function over time. So I believe that everyone is working on a poll in the background here. So let's actually go to the results if we have those to set the stage for why we're here today. So if we could get the poll results up, please, that would be great. Or complete those if you have not yet already. Awesome. Excellent. All right. So yeah, lots of great results there. So folks were asking about what hinders people's ability to use your data effectively. So a large portion of folks talking about benchmarking, setting the right goals. We've got a lot of great news to share there, and a lot about ROI and channels specifically. Those are the two leading things. I think we could go deep dive on all of these here, but we've definitely got a lot of content on those two areas. So great to hear that's resonating with everyone in the audience. Thank you for that. So let's go ahead and dive in. So first thing I wanted to do is share some data from Boston Consulting Group. So I think this data point will come as a surprise to no one who's been in the TA space for a while. But this data shows that 60% of TA leaders see reporting and analytics as their number one gap. If anything, based on my experience, I would argue this number is probably higher in reality here, based on my conversations with leaders across different industries and TA functions over the years. But this is a real issue. And why is this an issue? I think a lot of people who've been in the TA space understand that we've historically been hampered by the ability to tell our story at scale. There's so much great work that happens within TA orgs, but it often gets lost in the data. It's often mired in spreadsheets, it's stuck in email inboxes, and all of the work that happens, it's very difficult to distill that down to plan effectively and to chart our own destiny as TA leaders here. So what does that look like when it manifests in different orgs here? So let me take a step back here and share a contrast between a data-driven organization and a non-data-driven TA organization. And I've had the experience to work in both of these types of organizations. I'm sure many folks on this presentation here have as well. But this is how we think about it. So a lot of teams are really stuck in this left paradigm here, where they're unable to quantify their recruiting outcomes. They don't have a seat at the table. Lots of overspend on inefficient tactics and channels, inability to understand what's actually working and driving the results that we care about as TA leaders. And also very difficult to improve. If you don't measure it, if you don't have the right measures, you can't improve the work that you're doing. And that manifests in being able to, or failing to be able to build a business case for new headcount. So that's the kind of before picture that I think a lot of teams are still stuck in here. And the right side is really what we deliver on our customer promise through GEM, through our product and the work that we do. So, being able to deliver consistent hiring targets to enable faster revenue growth directly tied to business outcomes, reducing your cost per hire, and improving your time to fill by understanding where the bottlenecks are in your process. So this, in culmination, helps up-level the function and up-level us as TA leaders to perform better. I'll also add that I think anyone who's been paying attention to our space in the last 6 to 9 months knows that we all want to be on the right side of this paradigm here, not on the left side, especially these days here. So great. So let's dive in a little bit deeper onto what GEM is and how we help customers achieve this vision that we've outlined here. So some folks in the audience may be familiar with GEM. I just want to start first by asking a quick impromptu question. If you currently have a talent CRM, I'd like you to throw a 1 in the chat. So if you could do that, that would be great. And start to see how many folks are working with a talent CRM of any kind today. Great. I can see a few folks coming in there. That's great. Awesome. So it looks like a few people have a CRM today. It may be new for some people. So I'm going to give a very high level version before we dive into the analytics portion here. So at GEM, we help customers. We are a leading talent CRM, and we provide value across 3 areas. One is engaging and hiring talent faster through our sourcing products, helping you maximize recruiter effectiveness through CRM functionalities and talent marketing. And lastly, what we're here to talk about today is analytics, which help you run TA like a data-driven business. So this is something that I've been personally passionate about, and we're going to dive into specifically how we help you do that through our product momentarily here. So let's take a look at what that looks like. So for us, we're going to dive into the analytics portion of GEM here. I'm going to show you an overview of our 4 core areas here, and then we're going to actually dive into the product to show you live what this actually looks like. Screenshots are great, live products even better. So we've got both for everyone today. So super excited to deliver that for you all here. So for us, when we think about analytics, what I've seen in different organizations is that, they're starting from various different points. So some organizations are stuck in the spreadsheet era, right? And what this looks like is you've got multiple systems, none of them talk to each other. They're all slightly out of date, and you're continuing to put that into a spreadsheet, which is continually atrophying over time. So you never really get a clear picture of what's happening in the organization, in the team, any of those things. So that's kind of the V1 of the analytics journey. V2, other companies may have a third-party solution like a Tableau, Power BI, or something of that nature. The challenge you have there is that those are not purpose-built for the recruiting use case. They're incredibly flexible, incredibly powerful, but you have to consistently design and refine them to get the results that you want as a TA leader. I know personally, having used those, oftentimes the definitions matter. And so you might have one definition of on-site as a TA leader. Your analytics team might have a different on-site definition, and that yields incorrect data. So we bring all of that together into one single source of truth and help teams move away from those spreadsheets, move away from those third-party solutions where you can't trust the data, to a single source of truth that gets everyone on the same page. So let me walk through kind of 4 core areas, how we do that here. So one area that we have is executive reporting. So we've designed specific product modules that will help you create and customize executive level reports that you can share with business stakeholders, TA leadership, and even board and CEO level presentations. So we have many customers that are using this today, and it's been a game changer for helping them get and maintain a seat at the table. We also have more robust, deeper analytics that we'll show you as well. So this is helpful when you want to dig even deeper to diagnose and understand what's actually happening in your talent funnel there. Thirdly, we also have diversity insights. So I would argue that we have some of the best, most robust diversity insights available in the industry today. We're going to show you specifically what that looks like and how to use it. But this is going to help teams not only deliver against their DE&I hiring goals, but also set the goals and understand how they're measuring against them by department, by geo, all of those things there. And then lastly, more important than ever today, we help teams with forecasting and planning. So this is really critical. We'll show you exactly how we do that. But if you don't have a map, any road will get you there, right? I truly believe that. I've heard that phrase many times in my career. So we help provide that map, whether that's capacity planning, understanding ROI channels. We unlock all of that for you so you can get on the same page and start working towards the goals that we all want to achieve together. Excellent. So let's take a little bit deeper dive here now that we've covered the 4 key areas that GEM provides in our analytics platform here. So first, our dashboard library. So just to give you a high-level overview here, what we do when you create an executive dashboard, which I'll show you live momentarily, one of the key issues I found is that teams often struggle with how to get started, right? What type of dashboard should you start with? What metrics should you track? A lot of debates happen over this, and a lot of spinning happens over this, whereas we've made that very easy for teams. So right out of the box, we create templates that have the right metrics that most of our teams care about that you can use instantly. So this is set up, it integrates directly with your ATS so that you have one source of truth across GEM and your ATS presented in a dashboard here. So this is going to help you start, if you're just beginning on your journey, which dashboards you need. You can start with these, but you can also infinitely customize them as well. We'll walk into some ways how to do that in a moment, but again, easy entry, infinite customization. That's what we offer with the executive dashboards here. So this is super exciting. We've seen a lot of customers adopt this and very excited about that here. All right. Next piece I'll share here about goal setting. So one of the really powerful things about the GEM platform is not only do we bring your data to life and help you actualize it, we also actually help you set goals based on what's actually happening in the talent market. So we're very lucky to have over 1,000 customers across many of the leading industries and companies in America and globally. And so because of that, we're also able to provide benchmarks across very key and critical metrics. So when you're working in a TA team, you'll often hear a question of what does good look like, right? And the missing part of that has been having the right benchmarks in place. So we can show you things like what is the actual average time to hire benchmark for the New York metro area, for computer software, for manufacturing. We can show all of those. We can also apply that to DE&I recruiting as well, whether that's from a gender lens or a race ethnicity lens. We can show you what the representation is across peer companies so that you can use that to inform what your goals should be. As a TA leader previously myself, I've often been in a position where I am told what my goals should be, and I'm often pushing back on what they should actually be. We give you the data to have that conversation, to truly set your goals and to chart your own destiny there. So this is something I wish I had many years ago, and I hope many people watching this today do as well, but this is something that's very powerful and exciting there. All right, excellent. Next is about reducing costs. So I think this is something that is top of mind for literally everyone in the TA space here today. And one area that teams have historically struggled with is what's the actual ROI of the tools and job boards and channels that we're spending on. We'll show you this live in a moment, but a quick overview here. We can actually break down dollar for dollar by channel, by source, by stage, what you're actually spending and getting out of any tool that you're using in your ecosystem, right? So imagine how powerful that is to be able to understand, like, do events even work? What does the cost of an event hire? Being able to answer those questions is something that has historically been very difficult for most teams to do at scale. We automate all of that and help you untangle that so that you can be the best stewards of your budget and use it so that you get the best results for the teams that you're leading today. So this is something I'm personally very passionate about. And we'll show you what this looks like in a moment here. But goal here is we help you reduce your costs by understanding ROI of what you're spending today. And lastly, we'll show here just as an overview before we jump into it, capacity planning. So this is where it all comes together. You understand your goals, you're showing an executive dashboard, you understand your channel ROI. Now we've actually built into our product the ability to design your own capacity plan based on your team's actual data. Oops, excuse me. And so we'll show you what that looks like in a moment here, but you'll be able to say, based on hiring needs for your company, do you have the right amount of recruiters? Are they deployed in the right area? Should they be working on a different team? All of those things that have historically not had a lot of data behind them, or at best spreadsheets in most companies, we help you do that here quickly and easily. So this is really cool. Very excited to demo this for everyone. But this is a quick overview of what's available in our product today. So screenshots are great. Hopefully everyone enjoyed that quick run through of what GEM is, and specifically our analytics value. Let's actually jump over the product itself so I can show you a little bit more in depth what that looks like. While I'm doing that, please be thinking of questions. We'll reserve about 5 minutes at the end for questions, and we're always available for follow-up afterwards. But please be thinking of any questions you have while I'm presenting this here. So bear with me one moment while I switch to our demo screen here. All right, excellent. Great. So what we're looking at here is an example executive overview dashboard that I mentioned earlier in the presentation. So the way to think about this is this brings in all of your ATS data in real time and is integrated. So all of your top of funnel data that you're getting through sourcing through GEM, plus your ATS data, real-time view, source of truth, no question about which data is correct. We bring it all to life here. So what does that look like? We can show you anything around open jobs, number of hires your team has made over any time period, hires by department, starts by department, literally any way you want to slice this data that is relevant to your stakeholders and your leaders at your company, we can do that for you. The best thing is that we give TA leaders the power. You don't need to have an analyst do this. You don't need to have a separate team set this up and customize it for you. It's all plug and play, click, and you get exactly what you want and customize it just the way you want it. You can even change the colors as well here. So this is just an example of what an executive dashboard could look like. Here, there are many different metrics we can track, but this shows you what you'll be able to do in the product here. A lot of companies I work with in my role, they'll use this at the board level to really set expectations around hiring volume and specifically diversity goals and how they're achieving those there. So let's go a little bit deeper. So I'm going to go actually here and understand what might be going on in pipeline analytics. So again, these are the dashboards. We also give you the power to go deeper with our pipeline analytics platform here. All right, so just give that a moment to load here. And so this is where we give you, it's a virtual playground for data. We let you dive into, anything that you want to slice by, whether it's department or job or gender or race, ethnicity, diversity metrics. We can show you that at any stage of your funnel, exactly what's happening over time. So no more guesswork, no more spreadsheets. We break it down all for you here. I want to hone in on one specific area that I think will be relevant just to getting to the ROI piece that we had talked about. So I'm going to click here, and this is going to allow me to group by source type, right? So what I'm looking at is for this company, what sources have yielded which hires over time. So just at a simple view here, prospecting, i.e. sourcing, we can see it's generated 143 hires, referrals 104, et cetera. I can break that down really quickly and easily to understand what channels are actually working for me. And then if I want to understand even more in depth what I can do about that, we have also built in our functionality here where we allow you to create an expense report. And so this is not built out here. This is sample data. But essentially the way this works is we allow you to put in your cost that you may be spending on in-person events, LinkedIn, which is a major focus area, costs on LinkedIn for many teams today, other job boards, other tools you may be using. And then we break it down for you to show you what's the cost per application, what's the ROI, how many hires did you actually get from those channels. We can illuminate all of that for you and more. And so this is really powerful. Imagine being able to have accurate data to go to your CHRO, to ask for different resources or more resources based on this. This is compelling. I've seen teams use it with CFOs, CHROs. Having the accurate data is the starting point to having constructive conversations around budget and resources there. So this is super exciting. Hopefully there's a lot here to build in, but you can make better choices as a TA leader when you have this level of insight. And again, we automate all of that for you here. Just jumping a little bit here in the interest of time, we've got 4 minutes before we go to questions here. I want to jump to the capacity planner that I mentioned. So this is a new product for us, very exciting. I've been waiting for this for years personally, and I know many people have as well. But essentially, now that you've got your ROI we showed you previously, we've got our executive dashboard, we can help you build out actual capacity plans to show you how well resourced you are or aren't to hit your hiring goals. Are you on track? This is the question that continually keeps TA leaders up at night. So we can show you how many hires you've made to date. And again, you can customize this by department, by geo, by hiring manager, any slice you want. This is just an overview. And we can show you what are your goals? Are you behind? What's your capacity based on the number of recruiters that you have? And how much additional recruiter capacity do you have? The beauty of this is, again, it's based on all of your data from the ATS and from GEM. So it's predicting based on the actual speed your team hires, how much you'll be able to hire and by when. So you get a running total here of what's your capacity? Do you need more resources? Are you resourced effectively? And will you hit the goal? So this is super powerful here. You can actually go in and assign recruiters to different geos, different teams. So you get a real-time accurate picture of exactly what your team is working on and when. This is an incredible thing that I think a lot of teams have found a lot of value in here. One other cool thing that I wanted to share with this that I think will be very exciting to people that we just released is scenario planning. So I don't even think this requires a poll question because I think I know the answer to it, but how many times as a TA leader have you had a change in plan from your leadership? They may have said, we're hiring 30 engineers, and they come back and say, guess what? It's 60 or it's 90 or more. And in some ways that's great because that demand, is good for the function, good for the team, but you want to be sure that you can hit that. So we also allow you to build out different scenarios based on different asks. So you can get really powerful with this here. You can outline, what if our hiring ask was, doubled? What if we had 2 fewer recruiters than we have today? What if we have 2 more recruiters than we have today? We allow you to model out all of those here to be able to have that conversation around resources in a productive and data-driven way. So in sum, these are the kind of core areas that we're focused on here. We mentioned benchmarks. We mentioned the ability to share executive dashboards, the ability to dig deeper in pipeline analytics to understand and debug what's happening in your funnel, the ability to track ROI, and then also the ability to chart your own future with a capacity plan that you can build and customize for the needs of your team here. So I know that's been a very quick run through of all of the things that we've seen here. There's a lot more to see that's deeper, but hopefully this gives you a sense of the power that we can deliver for potential customers that are on the GEM platform using our talent analytics platform, Talent Compass here. So with that, I think let's go ahead and open it up to questions. So Nick, if you can let me know if we have any questions in the chat. Excited to hear any feedback or questions that anyone has.
Yeah, Matt, we sure do. Here's a question from the audience. Our talent acquisition data is highly siloed, which is a nice way of saying that it's scattered all over the place. Do you have any advice for how we can consolidate it and get to one source of truth?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think one, I'll share that you're not alone. Certainly, I've seen that in many places over time. I think that it's a deeper question of like, how is it siloed, right? So is it in spreadsheets? Is it an ATS that's segmented in different ways, multiple ATSs? There's a couple things I'd want to know more about there. But in general, you have to examine the reason why it's siloed, right? Is it an organizational reason that it's desired to have like separation of church and state, so to speak? Or is it a technology reason? If it's a technology reason, usually it's because the solution has not been seen by a team. They don't know what's possible there. So I think you've gotten a taste of this, today, where we show a consolidated view between the two systems, and that's really what we do here at GEM, is break down those silos. I actually celebrate every time a spreadsheet dies at one of our customers. So hopefully that's helpful there.
Great. Here's another question. What's the biggest mistake you've seen companies make in trying to get more use out of their ATS data, and how did they get past it?
Great question. So unfortunately, we only have 4 minutes left. I think I could go for about 4 hours on that topic. But simply speaking, I think you have to be mindful of what ATSs are good at and what they are not good at. So an ATS is, as everyone knows, is an applicant tracking system. What it does not do well historically is track the outbound activities that are required for sourcing and for talent marketing. So think of it like Salesforce versus a marketing platform, right? If you just have Salesforce, it tracks sales, but it doesn't tell you anything about marketing, right? And so by what we do is we bring together the data you're doing in an ATS with GEM, so that you have that full funnel view all the way from the first email, outreach, text, whatever it may be, down to the hire there. So that's really the advice that I would have, is you likely, many companies expect the wrong outcomes from an ATS.
Great. Here's another question. Candidate experience is critical at the hiring stage. Does GEM prioritize the importance of candidate experience?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I think there's a couple ways to answer that. I think that what I would say, my quick answer to that is, focusing on analytics today, we help you debug where your candidate experience is falling short. So an example would be, if I go back to this pipeline analytics view here, again, we show you all of your funnel here by the different stages. So for example, I'm going to do a quick demo here, so bear with me. Here, do this here, there we go, okay. So let's say, for example, I mentioned our diversity data here. You'd be able to see quickly and easily in GEM by demographic, like what's the fallout rate for different interview stages. There are likely candidate experience implications there that could be improved upon, and we're able to show you that real time. So my quick answer is we help you understand where your candidate experience is falling short and what to do about it.
Great. Here's another question. As far as capacity planning goes, is there a way to integrate talent supply, time to fill benchmarking to segment which positions will be the most difficult to place at the start?
Yeah, absolutely. So that's not something we covered in the presentation today, but let me do this here quickly. We can do that here. Okay. So yeah, one of the features that we also have here is we have our forecast calculator. So let's imagine here that we are sorting by department. So here we want to understand what the hires look like for BizOps, for example. We can see how difficult or easy it is to hire a particular role for a particular geo or department there. And we can also forecast what that would look like. So if I were asked to hire 15 people in the BizOps, this is what my team actually needs to do, top of funnel to bottom of funnel, to get those 15 hires. So that's how we would address that within GEM.
All right, great. I think those are all the questions for now. And I want to thank you again, Matt, for such an incredible session. I also want to thank everyone else for joining us today. This session, along with all of today's content, will be available on demand following the event. Have a great day, everybody.
Thanks, everyone.